I want to share a little bit from a book called The Path of Sri Ramana. The Path of Sri Ramana, by the way, is self-inquiry, the teaching of self-inquiry. This book was written by one of Ramana Maharshi's students or devotees, an enlightened one, by the name of Sadhu Om. And let's hear what he has to say about this thing called happiness. He says, eternal happiness is the goal. He says, careful observation will show that all are striving for happiness. From the smallest ant to the greatest emperor, everyone is tirelessly working. And for what? For happiness and happiness alone. Everyone is anxious that he or she should live in happier circumstances than those at present. It is this anxiety, he says, which impels people to work, to do whatever they do. This craving for happiness, he says, is not wrong. It is indeed desirable. But since people are constantly endeavoring to obtain more happiness, it is evident that happiness in full has not yet been obtained by many or most. Man, woman is constantly trying to accumulate such sources of pleasure as food, house, employment, mate, and children, because they believe that happiness will be derived from these sources. Is he right? He goes on to say, it is certain that everyone wants happiness in full, untainted by even an iota of sorrow. This can in no way be denied. However, no one has so far been able to obtain such happiness by gratifying the five senses. It is thus quite clear that up until now, perfect happiness has not been obtained in spite of all the world's progress and endeavors through the above-mentioned means, through the senses. Yet, is such perfect happiness possible? Is it possible? Is it impossible, he says. Is such happiness impossible? And he says, no, it is not impossible. One can have it here and now. There is nothing wrong in all living beings aspiring for perennial and full happiness, untainted by sorrow. In all bold letters, bold type, he says, the desire for happiness is not wrong. Happiness must be obtained. It is in fact the supreme goal, or our natural state, for all human beings. But the means to obtain it, which have been charted and followed by people up till now, are wrong. The defect is only in the means and not in the goal. That is why people are not able to enjoy perfect happiness despite Herculean efforts they have made to achieve it. So it makes it quite clear to me that perfect happiness, ongoing, constant happiness, is not the problem. It's the means by which we go about it, isn't it? And so are we ready? Again, it comes back to, are we ready to choose happiness now? That's the question that I presented to Stan. Am I ready to choose happiness now and always? Are we ready to make that our New Year's resolution? We must be ready, I feel, or else we wouldn't even be involved. We wouldn't be on this call. We wouldn't even be involved in AHAM in any way. Because the sole purpose of this organization is what? Is to share the tools and empower people with the ability to choose and locate that happiness within. So if that wasn't our choice, if we weren't ready, then we might say we're in the wrong place. What is your experience? Can anyone feel that resounding yes to choosing happiness now? And then the question, if I'm not, then what is preventing me from choosing it? What would we say is preventing us from choosing it? Wouldn't it just be whatever it is, thinking or thoughts that I have to do this or do that before I can choose it? I know that one real well. Oh, I can't choose it now because you don't understand, Ramana, what I'm having to deal with right now. I'm saying that because that used to be my elongated mantra to Ramana, or automatic response. But then he would come back with, well, Stan, let me ask you, if you didn't, or you were not entertaining and holding on to the thought, the feeling, the notion that you cannot choose it now, then what would be the case? And although my mind and my sense of being right would come up in there of, well, I know he's right, but I don't want to say he's right. I don't want to say that there's nothing stopping me right now from choosing. I say that there's nothing stopping us right now from choosing happiness now. So can we make that our New Year's resolution? Are we willing to make that our New Year's resolution?